Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me already, my name is Kirsty Lertxundi and this is Augie. Augie, say hi. I have to apologize for not having a video up. I must apologize for not having a video up. Last Friday, I had some complications due with uploading, and it's really upsetting when you put a lot of time and effort to edit a video for it not to upload on time. I did give myself the whole day to do so, but YouTube wasn't having it. Just to come to realize that if you need a certain amount of subscribers to post videos longer than 15 minutes, and the videos that I actually made was closer to 30 minutes. So after a few days of not knowing this, and after a few days of struggling, I decided to split the video in two halves and just post it on the same day so I can still have the content that I like. It's a little bit annoying for you guys. If you're coming from part two, hello, hope you liked the video. And if you've just come onto part one, make sure to watch till the end and watch part two as well. Make sure to watch part one and part two, as it's technically the same video, but I had to split it into two because then I wouldn't be able to upload it. Please like the video and subscribe so these things don't happen again. It's just really annoying. I don't really care about the likes and the subscribers I get, but I do want to post longer videos if I want to. So thank you very much for watching. Let's get on to the video. Value. Value. What is value? Welcome to my channel. Subscribe and like this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And before we start the video, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I can't believe we are already at 40 subscribers. It might be very little to a lot of you, but to me, it's a great achievement, and it's more than I ever expected. So thank you very much if you're watching my videos, and if you watched several of my videos beforehand. So I just want to send the love. Thank you so much. This video is going to be one of the first videos from a series I really want to start in my channel. I think it'll be very beneficial to do a kind of like a beginner's guide to oil painting, but I know there's a lot to unpack from oil painting, but I know there's a lot to learn and there's a lot of aspects of it. So I didn't want to squish it into one video. I really want to do several in-depth, thorough videos. So if there's one thing in particular that you're struggling with, you can always rewatch the video, and I hope it'll be very informational and beneficial. This video is going to be the color wheel and the basics of color theory. I am going to do a 3-part color theory within this whole series. Color theory is one of the most important out of all of them, and I really want to focus on 1, the basic terms and concepts, 2, how to mix colour, and thirdly, how to mix skin tones, because I think that deserves a whole nother video in itself. First of all, we're going to start with some basic terms, just so it's easier to understand the language I use in the rest of the video and in future videos. Hue. Hue, to put it shortly, is the colours of the rainbow. That ranges from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. Chroma. Chroma is how intense a hue is. Chroma comes from a Greek word meaning colour, and chroma in this context is how intense a hue is. If you guys are very familiar with photography and editing your photos on Instagram, for example, it's desaturation. The higher the chroma, the more brightly and saturated a colour is, and the lower the chroma, the more grey tone and neutral. A colour can go from a very vibrant red all the way to a very cool, neutral grey. Value. Value is basically how light or how dark a colour can be. So for example, if you get a bright red shade, it can start from being very intense red to lightening up to eventually getting to a near white colour. And you can also have the opposite, where you start with a bright red and it goes all the way down to a dark maroon shade. All of these values are still very high in chroma. They're still at their most intense, but they're just a lighter version of the original color. Temperature. Temperature is how warm or cool a color is, or how warm or cool a thing is in general. At school, we learned that cool colors are greens, blues, and purples, and warm colors are yellows, oranges, and reds. Although that is correct in a way, there's a little bit more nuance onto that. You can still get a cool tone red on top of the warm tone red, and you can get a warm tone blue on top of the cool tone blue. And in my next video, I'll be talking more about temperature and how to recognize temperature from every hue in the spectrum. Primary colors. Primary colors are the three colors that you use to mix every other color within the hue spectrum and the color wheel. The primary colors are yellow, red, and blue. I know it might be very obvious. It's one of the first things we learned at school. Still very important to be aware of it whilst learning color theory. Secondary colors. Secondary colors are made from two primary colors. Secondary colors are green, orange, and violet, which finishes the rest of the hues in our spectrum. Yellow and blue makes green, red and blue makes violet, and finally yellow and red makes orange. Primary and secondary colors are one of the more simpler concepts to grasp. As I said, it's one of the first things that we learn at school, but I still wanted to make this video a little bit more full-rounded and not assume that someone knows a certain thing. Tertiary colors. Tertiary colors are colors made from a secondary color and a primary color. There are 6 tertiary colors in our color wheel, and these include yellow orange, orange red, red violet, violet blue, blue green, and finally green, yellowy green, or green yellow. Primary, secondary, and tertiary colors complete the hues present in the color wheel, and now I'm going to proceed to teach you how to make your own color wheel using your own set of primary colors you have at home. You can do it with any set. You don't need a particular colored paint. You just need a yellow, blue, and red. Not all sets of primary oil paints make the same tones and color that you might expect in a color wheel, so I am going to talk through some color palettes that you might come across or you might want to use, and recommend one that I think is great for beginners. Before we get on to making the color palette, I'm just going to show you some primary color schemes that are quite popular. So the first one is, it's probably the most classic color scheme out there. It's something that we immediately think of when we think of primary colors. And here we have a warm toned red, warm tone yellow, and warm tone blue. I've probably been using this set when I was little, when I just started painting in primary school and secondary school, before I knew better. And yes, it's just what you think of when you think of primary colors. The only issue with this color palette is that it doesn't make very vibrant colors. Because it is a fully warm tone palette, the warm tones look amazing, such as the oranges, reds, and yellows. But when we dive into the purples and the greens, they tend to lack a little bit in vibrancy. And although the colors are beautiful, if you want to achieve that more muted green, more like a foresty muted green, then this is perfect. But if you are wanting those really vibrant limes and tropical leaf kind of green, this isn't really going to cut it. If you actually swap the warm tone yellow and go in with a cool tone yellow, it does make a lot more vibrant greens and probably make more traditional colored greens in the sense of what we think of what a green hue is. So this is a 3 color palette that I do recommend to have. So I'm just going to put the names on screen. I do have a colour palette to do with these 3 colours. And as you can see, I mean, on camera it's showing way too bright, so it's too exposed. Ignore these, I mixed them not very well. But you can see the oranges, the reds, the yellows are a lot vibrant. And then here, you can get some nice greens still. They're really beautiful, they still work. And if you are into that, I do recommend these. Next palette is the Thorn palette, and this one is really interesting. At first glance, you might think this isn't a primary colours palette. But as I said at the beginning of this video, and these are hues of the primary colours. Now, except for the black one is obviously not a hue of blue. You can't argue yellow ochre is a yellow. It's just a yellow with a darker value. And the red is probably the traditional red that we think of. Now with the black, how are you supposed to mix colours of the rainbows using 2 primary colours and a black? Well, Zorn, an artist, actually uses black as a substitute of blue. So when you're doing your colour palette, just think of this as yellow, the red shade is red, and the black is blue. These makes really interesting colours, and I do have a colour palette that I can whip out. Augie, hello. One sec. Hello, baby. Say hello to everyone. Okay, see you later, baby. Right, so as I was going, this is the colour palette, and yes, at first glance, it's like, as I expected, I see no greens, but actually, this is quite a very swampy green, and it's so lovely. Obviously, you wouldn't be doing a landscape with these 3 colours, but for portraits and painting people and just general homey environments, it's amazing. And I do recommend checking some of his work if you are intrigued at this quite bizarre colour. Baby, you okay? The one I'm going to be using in this video, these 3 colours. I have a kind of lemon yellow colour, a alizarin crimson, and a phthalo blue. These colours are not exactly those. I'm just saying which ones you should get if you are still looking to buy your first set of colours or some extra paints that you would like to have in your collection if you don't have them yet. Here I have a cool tone yellow, a cool tone red, a cool tone blue. If you want a more complete palette, get these 4 colours and a white. This is probably the only colours you will ever need. The rest are just little add-ons to make your life easier. Make sure you go to my website. I will have a link down in the description. And there I have a blog showing you how to make this particular colour wheel. Guys, this is what happens when you ignore your puppy. No, my makeup, no. Like, where did he even get that paper? Oh my god. Look at this. Won't you join